Hello, dear friends, and thank you very much, first of all, for saving enough energy to stay here for the last presentation of the day. At this stage, you can applaud yourselves. You did a great job. Sergey. So together with Sergey, we are going to talk about our company's journey from reactive to preventive approach. Today we talked a lot about technology and about sovereignty. In our case, we wanted to acquire the technological sovereignty at the corporate level. We wanted to be able to use our own means and devices to detect some malicious activity, and we were using MaxPatrol as the basis for the development of this solution. This is 2025. And I'm happy that not only did I witness this transformation, but I contributed to it personally. Let's start with the context a little bit to make things clearer for you. Look back at 2022. At that time, there was a trend for comprehensive cybersecurity and EDRs that were ubiquitous, that were at the very top of Gartner's hype chart, and all vendors supported this trend. And in 2022, Positive Technologies developed an agency security tool that we showcased to the market. It enabled not only detecting the attacks, but also responding to the attacks. This product had a special, a separate value of enhancing the value of other products. But EDR was quite a complex thing for the market to get its head around. It had many different dimensions, and the EDR products that were called the EDR, came in different shapes and sizes from different vendors. So the market decided to differentiate between different components of this whole solution. So in 2023, we launched the MaxPatrol EDR product. It was a product to detect attacks at endpoint devices, and since that time, the most frequent question that I kept hearing from partners and customers at various projects was, when are we going to get the antivirus? Do you have any intention of developing an antivirus? But we proceeded along with the single agent concept. In order to acquire the technological independence or sovereignty, we realized that we needed an antivirus engine. Well, actually, Positive Technologies, yes, it was investing into its own technologies, including signature detection, and there was high demand for that, including the engine to determine attacks in sandboxes and elsewhere, so that you would be able to protect email and the network. So in addition to endpoints, so strategically the demand for such a solution was ripening. So this is 2025. We are at PhD. We are ready to share our results with you. Since 2022, we acquired Share Antivirus Blockada. This is a Belarus-based company. They have been in business for many years, and now we are ready to share our results with you. It's the antivirus component in the MaxPatrol EDR product. Why are we doing this? Because we have a strategy, the technological independence, once again, the technological independence that enables us to develop our portfolio in a way, in such a way as to make it meet the requirements of the market to the best of its ability, to strengthen our competitive positions in the market, again, to the maximum. MaxPatrol EDR is not the only product where the antiviral engine will be installed, sandbox as well, GPV, and email security solutions, and our solution for the industrial and enterprise applications. Well, actually, I could add that in the expert plane, when we talk about signature detect, it's a tool, a mechanism that allows us to detect things based on a pattern. You can call it a signature, you can call it a pattern, an indicator, and respond to this detection instantly. Positive Technologies has a lot of experience in APT detection, but what about an encryptor that is already in the system? You don't yet have CM proper, but there were some simple, non-advanced threats or attacks that required a quick response. Well, actually, it's not really about, well, not as much about responding to an attack, but rather the focus is on prevention. We are going to talk about prevent a lot during the session. You know that it's cheaper to prevent than to treat, and that's our aim. So strategically and tactically, to address businesses' needs, we had different ideas as to how to acquire this as a technology as part of our portfolio. And a more obvious option was to develop everything ourselves. So we have a lot of experience in coding things, in doing things with our own hands. And although we already have a big portfolio, but we could be making that product too. Why not? However, having a lot of populating this product with many indicators of malware, that would have required a lot of time on our side. And that's why we thought that, it would be quite interesting and exciting to develop everything in-house, but it would also require a lot of time in finding the right people with the right expertise. So that was one of the options we considered. The other option was a technology partnership. We have lots of projects where we partner with third-party companies for complex installations and such, but we understand that if we are pursuing that avenue, we'll not be controlling the expert track. We become dependent in terms of technology on that partner. We'll not be able to control the price. So there were other downsides to this approach. And there was yet another option that was open to us as a solution, as a means to achieve the aim, and as a way for Positive Technologies to grow significantly via an M&A. For PT, that was the first time experience. It's the first time where we are acquiring share in order to acquire a particular technology that was valuable not only in terms of us getting that engine, but in terms of how what are other ways to add new products or new components to our portfolio. This is a non-organic growth for a technology that leads to business growth as well. Yeah, maybe a couple of words about the choice that we made. Yeah, well, let's talk about the criteria that we followed when selecting our partners. In different partnerships, when things happen, when things go wrong, the users start calling different partners on the vendor side, and then it becomes a quest, both for the partnership and for the users. It's a difficult journey. A partnership is a difficult journey, not only for the companies themselves, but for the users, because you are getting not just the product off the shelf, but you are getting support, you are getting assistance, and things like that. And speaking about criteria, since we have already decided on the method, this is how we are going to get the signature detection. We are getting the antivirus engine. Of course, we were looking for state-of-the-art technologies, for some proprietary approach. We wanted not only to get the source code, but the people, the expertise, the processes of building the antivirus database, of populating that database. So it was not just a developers team that we were searching for. And experience, actually, that was yet another important criterion. We wanted the antivirus database to be, not old, but to have been in existence for a while, to be quite rich. Why virus blockade? We had talks with other companies as well. Well, yeah, it's true. We negotiated with several potential partners, and we selected Virus Blockada. Why is that? Well, they're great guys, great people, and they're here, by the way. They're in the room, and hi, guys, good to see you. And we are working now together as one team. But a better answer to your question is expertise and team. The Virus Blockada has been around for many years, since 1994, virtually, in the Belarus market. They're one of the leaders in host security. They have contacts with the government. Government sets stringent requirements on security. They have accumulated a lot of experience and indicators, all the antivirus database, basically. And what also mattered for us is that it was the company that was created by the people with engineering talent. They are people with a very strong Soviet engineering background. So it was not just kind of an accidental engine, really. It was quite a substantial product. And speaking about other criteria, the Stuxnet worm was it was the worm that affected the centrifuges in Iran. It was for the first time that a particular worm affected the real infrastructure. And back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, was it 2010? Yeah, I think it was 2010. It was these guys who detected that virus.
And they are also participants to major international initiatives like Virus Totals. They have passed through public tests, and most importantly, their technological approach was not just to let's make a database of a lot of signatures and that's it. They actually found a way to put together patterns. They actually created a great emulator that really is very good at identifying obfuscated and repackaged patterns. And the team, yes. Team is very important. The team started a dialogue very vigorously, what they need, what they don't need, what we need to strengthen, and so on. And now we are really one integrated team. So this is a great match. And I think this match has already produced great results. Let's look at those results. Let's look at the product. We'll show you a video, and we will make comments for people who are not very well versed in what you're going to see. Okay, let's look at this. Identifying a ransomware using positive technologies, techniques. We took a series of basic scenarios, which I think everyone will understand. This is a classic thing, compromising accountancy. Why people take accountants? Because these people work with a lot of documents, they get a lot of different attachments in their emails, and so on. So, this is how it looks like if an accountancy machine is not protected by an antivirus. So they get an email with an attachment, and you click on that attachment, which arrives as an archive under a password. Archiving is an obfuscation technique. So in order for an executable file to work, you open it yourself. So a person started up a PDF, and there was a PowerShell 1 script, so it is an encryptor, right? But an accountant does not need to know that. So this is how it would look like if MaxPatrol EDR with our engine was installed. So we go to policies and we add an agent which we're going to set up for antivirus security. Our product is very flexible and you can set it up in any old way, responding, collecting data, and so on. Now, it's continuing, so the accountant has downloaded the archive, and they try to open the same attachment. So the antivirus warns that it has blocked an attempt to infect the device. And this is yet another view of our console. Again, I will make comments because there is a lot of fine print. So here you can see a message from the antivirus engine that the file was checked and the file is recognized as malware.
Здесь можем видеть, что фактически результаты работы антивирусного движка как модуля EDR в свою очередь попадают.
The outcome from the EDR engine is logged by a single log, and therefore it is not a standalone system. This component is integrated into our product, in MaxPatrol platform, so it's logged within the platform. Here you can also see several events fired by the behavioral analysis or pattern maker. So the pattern maker has identified several activities that have markers that it's going to inflict some harm on the computer. So they tried to do this, it didn't work. Now let's look at how repackaging can happen from a technical standpoint and what it means. Repackaging is how you try to masquerade as a non-virus. A lot of viruses have been known for some time and their signatures are known to a lot of people. So the malware tries to masquerade as normal software so that malware databases just can't see what they're dealing with. This is done through repackaging. And this is where Virus Blockada comes in with their technology. A signature is not just a part of a source code or a hash sum or whatever. From their point of view, it is a set of principal indicators that are going to surface if we're dealing with a malware. So we're not going to use hash to identify the software as malware. We are going to identify it even if it is repackaged and then re-repackaged and so on. So in this scenario, the last case is infecting a device through a USB stick. It's also a classic thing. Some memory stick used as merch, or you have left your memory stick on a desk, or if you have connected your memory stick to a smart TV set, and so on. A lot of things can land on that memory stick. This we can tell you. Now, this is malware, and we have identified this malware, and you can see how it looks like in the system. Again, it fires an event, and this event has an outcome that no, don't open this file. Every time this file is touched upon by the operating system, the antivirus software will intercept all the calls from the operating system or from the application. So at both levels, the system will be protected from any negative interaction with this virus. Now, a couple of words about how this outcome, how this performance can be looked at from the strategic and competitive point of view. So what you're looking at is a technique honed over decades, literally, by our colleagues from Virus Blockada. They also have the pattern maker or emulator, and actually we can already use this through providing a full stack of technologies. But that's not all. In the long term, it's even more important. Of course, a little disclaimer. We are currently at a proof of concept stage. The release that will be available to all our customers will come later this year. And we have shown you this engine as part of MaxPatrol EDR. But it's going to be integrated in all our platforms because this is key technology for us as a vendor. MaxPatrol works with Windows and with Linux. We have demonstrated it with Windows, of course, but one of the key points in the future is supporting Russian-made operating systems. The popularity, the coming popularity of Astra Linux is very important to us, and we try to be as effective as possible in catching and addressing the viruses in the Linux as well. And this is not just the technology that we have integrated into EDR. We are moving through this technology, this EDR, closer to true endpoint security. We've got a lot of questions today on the product, EPP, on where we're going to move with the product, and so on. So we're going to address that. And another important thing, this corporate merger that has happened is useful to both. And I think it's useful to all, because as a result of this merger, we are in a position now to quintuple the number of signatures that we analyze and generate. So this common database will be much more than just the sum of its parts. And again, a lot of people have asked me this question earlier today. Are we going to participate, or maybe we have already participated in competitive tests in Russia and internationally? Of course, when it goes live, when it becomes available commercially, it will be in our best interest to participate in public competitive tests and comparisons according to the methodologies that are credible across the market. Because again, a lot of customers have said, what are the criteria which I can use to choose EPP or antivirus solutions? And of course, the results of such public tests, they play a huge role in corporate decision-making. This is our expected outcome from this merger, the improvement in the quality of our representation and comprehensiveness, because we not only change the code, we invest in the process of samples collection in order to get at a much larger and much more comprehensive database. Positive used to have its own malware processing even before we matched with Virus Blockada, with a lot of samples collected by ourselves. And now, combining Virus Blockada and ourselves, we are going to create a truly comprehensive antivirus laboratory, which will take care of the update of this database. And a couple of words about the competitive environment. Because, of course, we can plan whatever we like, but we are in a very tight market. This market is very competitive. You know about this. And since we're latecomers to this market, on the one hand, it is much more difficult for us. on the other, we have an advantage because why Russia has such great banking industry and such great telecoms industry? Because we were latecomers to that market internationally, and we were able to learn all the lessons without actually making the mistakes. A lot of customers use already some kind of antivirus technology, but there are relatively few really comprehensive solutions. Really few people use the Prevent technology, but not everyone, of course, claims that this is their own technology. Now, let's focus on what our strengths are. We have a single agent, very flexible, very modular, that can be set up in all the necessary ways. That is what we used to have, that is what we're going to have in the future. This single agent is something that's loved by our customers because it's easy to buy, easy to administer, and easy to roll out. You really can make all those agents from one control, and if you have an antivirus, EDR, and thin client from a different vendor and so on, and everything is managed by its own agent, and all those agents, they eat up resources, and resources are finite. As Sergey has said, we will support both Windows and Linux because we understand the reasons behind the growth in the penetration of Linux and other Russian-made systems, but Windows is still very popular, and we can't ignore that. We will also make a focus on the emulator engine because the classic signature analysis, it's still very, very simplified, and it does not give such a huge outcome as the emulation of malware. So our ultimate goal is to see a company performing better with our products, performing in a more secure way. And this single agent really strengthens other positive technologies, products already procured by the same customer. So this engine will make us much more flexible and much more powerful at the same time. So you can see on this list our international competitors too. And part of the strategy of positive technologies and part of our contribution is the contribution to our international expansion, because we want positive technologies to be represented across the globe. And as you can see, most of our international competitors, they want this technology for themselves, and some of them have it. So on the one hand, of course, it's very tempting to focus on supporting Russian operating systems, but of course, it should motivate us much better to go for the tightest markets.
In English, we will be happy to answer any questions. We will share all our contacts, by the way. Так вот, важно, что мы смотрим на глобальный конкурентный ландшафт.
So what's important is that our global competitors also have this technology, and they have already integrated it.
Технологии в общей картинке, то
Now, speaking about the role of this technology in the comprehensive solution, everything where you can install an agent, a server, a workstation, or another endpoint, it can be protected by our signature-based engine. It can be protected by this technology. Just to wrap up, I'd like to underscore that, well, a lot of you have already seen this slide in our previous events, including the IR events and so on. And where the rocket is where we are today. This rocket is flying ahead beautifully and bigly.
И сейчас, в общем, мы уже
So
готовы.
we have given you this communication about this transaction. We can show you how it works now. Please visit our booth. And we have very specific plans for later this year and for the next year.
Третьего квартала
In the end of third quarter,
кстати, мы
our plan is to
дать этот модуль уже в коммерческое использование.
go live with MaxPatrol EDR,
Поддержки требований в стек по средствам
which will strengthen the FSTech
интеграции этого в продукт
requirements for government use.
защиты.
We will integrate this into the ISIN Positive Technologies module to protect
Endpoint Protection Platform,
industrial infrastructure.
Потому что наши заказчики, как уже сказал Кирилл, много
And we will also do PT email security.
и защиту
Because a lot of
EDR сбора событий
a lot of people have asked us today
целевых атак,
about
превента, хардринга, то есть
whether it can be used not for just complex cases and complex attacks, but for simple prevents as well. And the answer is yes, it can. A lot of people ask us, of course, about FSTech certification. Of course, we have the plans to get it certified by the regulator and be able to work with government. That's all from our side. Thank you very much and wish you great PH days today and tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Hope you've networked with everyone you wanted. These are our contacts, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Let us know any moment in any, not in any language, but English we understand, and we will be, I hope, in a position to give you most comprehensive answers. And thank you for staying with us this late. Thank you, and goodbye.